Hi, everybody. Yes. Okay. Just got the confirmation. Yes, tomorrow will be a joint live stream. Me and Mystical Fortunes. 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's Chicago time. 7 p.m. London time. And it will be on Mystical Fortunes channel. So tomorrow, everybody, it's the second Saturday of the month. I will be live, but it will be on Mystical Fortunes channel. And I'll put a reminder up tomorrow to go over there and look. Okay? So, yes, I know everyone's been asking, and we have everything confirmed. So please go over there tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please remember, yes, I am a clairvoyant, clairaudient psychic. So that's how I get my information. And remember, everything is for entertainment purposes only. Okay? So let's just go through my stuff real quick, because you're going to get a lot of information tomorrow. All right? Now, one of my favorite channels, my favorite Swede, I think people can know where to find him. Okay? He has like this little Viking, and his image is a lot of yellow. Okay? Yeah, he's been talking about now the Jabberdoo and why everybody was getting the Jabberdoo. People are forgetting about the alleged reason, but now they're starting to ask questions. Why were we acting like lemmings? And now he pointed out that word is coming out because Brazil, the one country down in South America that speaks Portuguese. And that's why, because way back when, in the 1400s, the Pope drew a line, and everything on one side of the line could be taken as a Spanish colony, everything on the other side could be Portuguese. So that's why it came in the middle of a little section of Brazil. That's why they speak Portuguese there, not Spanish. Now, rumors are flying around that a big global entity that wants to take over the government of Brazil. You know, that building in New York City that kind of belongs to no one but is sitting in the middle of Manhattan? Yeah. The people in that building want to take over running the country of Brazil. So let's keep our eyes open on that. It's not good. It's like they want the W period, H period, O period group to manage everybody's health care. No. Some dude in Switzerland knows nothing about my medical issues. There's no way on heck I'm going to let some dude who doesn't know me from Adam run my medical care. Everybody has to start putting their foot down, saying no to these idiots, okay? And people are really need to start asking more questions and raising issues and saying no. Complacency only leads to showers that are not showers. And the way to get to those phony showers is a boxcar. Complacency needs to end. Okay? It was just a little announcement, but Vlad, yes, they have launched a rocket. They're going up to the moon again. And they're looking for a liquid that everybody needs to sustain themselves, water. So I think Vlad is going to expose, by his people going up there, a lot of the secrets. And everybody's scrambling because the truth is going to come out and Vlad's going to tell it. Especially the nonsense that's going on in the blue and yellow flag country with that comic, that comedian running the show. Yeah, it's turned into the game of drones because the guy has no education. All he knows how to do is play a video game. So now it's turned into the game of drones. What the comedian doesn't realize is that the Vlad's people, we're part of the people who wrote the software program for Game of Drones, so they know where the back doors are. Okay. Some other news. I already asked somebody who is from Ecuador if he could make a phone call for me, and he's trying to get through on the phone lines to his family down there, but no luck as of yet. Maybe I'll have news for you tomorrow. But in Ecuador, they're scheduled to have presidential elections in the next couple of weeks. Well, some people from the country where Bogota is supposedly helped one of the guys running for president in Ecuador across the Rainbow Bridge. Now, anybody who remembers the stuff in the 1980s? Remember a guy by the name of Noriega? Noriega and some other big stuff all over the news. And that's when C-SPAN really became popular because they were broadcasting the big open meetings in the swamp, in the buildings. Yeah, I mean, it was a big mess. Big monster mess. And that's when Ollie North and just a lot of things were happening. Well, I have a good hunch that the people involved in that stuff back in the 1980s were also involved with escorting this guy across the Rainbow Bridge. Yeah, and those people work in buildings that are like in the suburbs of the swamp. Yeah, you see the swamp suburbs are like, you've got Maryland, you've got Virginia, you've got Delaware. They're all kind of like real close by to the swamp. So, yeah, all the suburbs are in the swamp. Okay? No, it's crazy, but yeah, I think it's people from the buildings who are, yeah, they're the ones that are messed up with this, with what happened in Ecuador. Now, something I saw that was so funny. I'm cracking up laughing. The mass media is finally announcing that the city of Seattle is now a total mess. Their police department is short by over 25%. And former Seattle police are now going on mass media telling the world how messed up that city really is and how dangerous it is. I'm waiting for, and yeah, Billy G's company is based out of there. I'm waiting for Billy G to say that he's pulling all the operations for his big company out of Washington State and Oregon, because he's got some stuff in Beaverton, which is just to the west of Portland. He's pulling all operations out of the Pacific Northwest and taking it down to Texas. You see, Billy G's company has a big operation outside of DFW. Because the guy who used to head up, okay, people, when you have to call the legitimate tech centers for Billy G's company, the legitimate guys who can backdoor into your computer through the software are all based out of Texas. Because the initial guy who started it lived in Texas and told Billy and Marky and Stevie that people want to talk to a real American, and you can't get more American than a Texan. So it's all based down in Texas. And they do give people a real Texas hardline telephone number to call. So because the Pacific Northwest and Silicon Valley area is all going to heck in a handbasket because of all the woke idiots, you're going to see a lot of tech stuff moving down into Texas. And Texas, listen, if these idiots are coming from those states, you don't sell their house. You rent, and you jack the rent up through the ceiling. Okay? Let's make some money off of these idiots that are trying to ruin America. Yeah. Total rentals only to these fools. No sales because of you can terminate. You don't have to renew a lease if a person is an idiot. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, now in San Francisco, they aren't you. If you call for a ride share, you're going to get you more. Possibly, California has approved. You might get a car driven by a computer. Okay, who's operating the computer? Where is that person located? Somewhere in Malaysia? You know, it does take a few seconds for information to go back and forth. Within that information, that robocar, there could be a little kid chasing after a ball, and that kid could be across the Rainbow Bridge before the idiot in Malaysia realizes it on the screen. So, no. If you got to travel in some of these countries, and if they're going to send you a robocar, you cancel that ride. You call up your local old-fashioned taxi cab company, and you request a car and a driver, and make sure that driver does have something to protect you with. That's what we need now. Scrap these this nonsense with the robocars. They're not safe. How many children will be unnecessarily sent over the bridge because the computer operator wasn't paying attention, wasn't acting fast enough? That will be the downfall. Let one kid go across that Rainbow Bridge. That whole infrastructure of computer-run cars is going to be out of business. That's all it's going to take is one kid. Gone. Okay? Now I know we're all watching what's going on in Maui right now. Of course, Jojo is going to wait till it burns itself out before he does a darn thing. I mean, I have heard that private yacht owners are getting their boats over there ASAP and pulling people literally out of the water. I mean, most of it's all because there were natural fire breaks. But big corporate business bought up all the agricultural land and didn't maintain the fire break. Yeah. Instead of raising sugar cane or pineapple, they planted a highly flammable wild grass. So this big corporate business, corporation farming, is it Billy Gates? Is it the Big Red Sea? They are the ones to blame. They did not maintain the fire breaks. So I hope everyone who has lost everything sues the daylights out of the corporate owners where those fields, that agricultural land, should have been maintained properly and was not. They are to blame. Now, to go back to something that everyone is having fits about now. Okay, yeah, the UK, we're getting our fair share of illegal migrants, refugees, they call themselves, but they're not refugees. That's an army being sent over in disguise. Well, New York City is screaming for help because they can't handle being a sanctuary city. I'm waiting for Baboon Johnson to start screaming help from the federal government. No, they're not going to get it because the federal government is allowing this army to invade. Just like what they had strategically planned in the UK, somebody jumped the gun on. They were supposed to wait until the barge was at capacity before they released something, but somebody jumped the gun on releasing something into the water supply. It would have been they would have had That barge had capacity. All of them would have gotten sick. Many would have gone across the Rainbow Bridge. And it was a one-time thing. But they would have been rid of it. But it would have held like how many thousands of people? Well, now, finally, there's something going on. And it's all tied together. I'm connecting the dots. You see, right now, Iran is saying, okay, they will now release the American citizens that they've held in the pokey. Because certain funds that have been frozen by the U.S. government are being unfrozen. Well, at the same time, 2 other countries that are basically pray 5 times a day, Tunisia and Libya, are now taking responsibility for the migrants that are still in their countries. They're stopping them, preventing them from getting to the Mediterranean. Because the pipeline is to go stage yourself in a North African country like Libya or Tunisia, get across the Mediterranean to southern France, go up through France to the Channel into the UK. Well, now Tunisia and Libya are cutting off them, preventing them from getting to the Mediterranean Sea. Something that people forget. Gaddafi was actually one of the good guys. Libya was actually was a good country. They were the good guys. And it all went to heck in handbasket when Barry came to power. And Barry's people, Barry and Hilly, set up the destruction and the switchover of Libya from good people to bad people. Everything that happened with Benghazi and everything that happened to Gaddafi, that was all pre-planned by Barry and Hilly. It was set to destroy and set up for the invasion by all these pray 5 times a day people, because Barry is in secret. He prays 5 times a day. Yeah. Okay. Now for Jojo. Okay, we're finding out more and more. All of his banking records are coming to light. So when more and more is exposed, they're going to pull more and more. They're going to try throwing more and more onto Donnie. Everybody's seeing it now. And we know that the federal government is toast. The Department of Justice is toast. And so are some of the other agencies. But what we can fall back on is that there's enough states that are the shade of my lipstick. They can file suit individually against Jojo and his brothers and JJK. JJK was the bag boy. So, yeah. It's going to be up to the individual states to take down the Jojo crime family. And it's going to be interesting. Yeah. And the pressure is then, if all the states that surround Illinois file suit against Jojo, they're going to be looking at Pugsley Putzker. Why aren't you doing it? Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's now, yeah, it's going to be real interesting. And we all know Jojo's too busy trying to... Jojo doesn't know what's going on. I bet he doesn't even know what's going on in Maui right now. I mean, have they sent any ships over to help rescue? Sent the U.S. Navy out to help rescue people? I haven't found any info on that. But what I did find info on is right now, off of this right outside of the Sydney Harbor, you've got ships from 4 countries doing dress rehearsals. Yeah, India, Japan, the United States, and Australia all have their big monster ships out doing dress rehearsal play games. We know the Big Red Sea wants Australia. But if they keep all those ships in that area, are we looking at Pearl Harbor Part 2? That would be a great way to, I mean, right now with these guys playing games, all these ships playing games together, that would be, we would be seeing history repeating itself. Pearl Harbor Part 2 if somebody's not careful. And instead of Japan doing the bombing, it's the Big Red Sea. I think they're getting ready for it. So they better scatter those ships soon. Fast. And what else is bad? Got to scatter. Is what else is they're doing is the Big Red Sea bought up a bunch of property in London around Embassy Row. Well, they want to build a brand new embassy. And thankfully, the local council that approves building codes is saying no go to the building plans. Somebody must have recognized those building plans weren't for an embassy, but for a high-tech base to watch what everybody's doing. Like a computer building that can watch and see through walls and stuff. So the council where that building would be built in, they're saying, no, you're not building it. You don't have authorization to build. You stay with what you can maintain what you've got, but we issue all building permits. Well, tit for tat, the UK embassy in the Big Red Sea is in disrepair, and now the Big Red Sea is saying, you can't fix the building. If we can't build ours, you can't do yours. Something's going down. Something is really going down. And the other new thing that's going on in London right now, I guess the brats that use TikTok and all those other social media things coming out of the Big Red Sea, they all said, oh, we're going to go meet on Oxford Street and we're going to do some looting. Well, the new excuse is that once you see the police arrive, pull out your phone, and your excuse is you're not there for product. You were there just to film video to put up on your channel. It doesn't fly. You were there to collect some of the spoils. So parents, if your kid is still under 18, you see, you technically own that phone. You can take it to the phone store and you can have it so certain social media applications are a no-go. You can have those, you can get a cell phone for your kid that they can only make phone calls on and text message. And even then, you can limit the phone numbers available that can text message that phone. So time for parents to take the phones that belong to their little underage looter brats. Shut their phones down so they can't congregate. That'll kind of protect the kids as much as possible. But the kids are now using the excuse, oh, I'm just here to film it so I can put it on my channel. That's the new excuse. Okay. Now for the British royal family. We know that since it's almost a year since QE2 passed, a lot of things had to be rearranged. Now we know everything that Henry used to do was tossed into limbo. My firm belief, Andrew still knows too much about the Miami guy. So Andrew has to be kept in protective mode. So he's being well protected. So he can't be going out and doing things right now. So they have they've had to delegate his former responsibilities onto others. So there's been a massive shakeup of who's going to be the honorary colonel-in-chief of various regiments scattered around the UK. And so new things are getting tossed onto Camilla, William, Catherine, Beatrice, Eugenie, even Beatrice, Edward, Sophie, the Duke of Gloucester, and the Princess Royal. It wouldn't surprise me if Lord Snowdon, Earl of Snowdon, and Lady Chatto are asked to participate, because right now the Duke of Kent is up there, and so is Princess Alexandra. I mean, her branch is the Ogilvies. Hey, time to pull in the Snowdons, your cousins, to help out, just like the Gloucester and the Kents are your cousins, and the Ogilvies are helping out your mom, Charles. Get the Snowdons pulled in. And yes, actually, there are some people on the Mountbatten side that are available to help out. So, Charles, start reaching out. Okay? Make sure there's some more people who are under the age of 60 working. You've got to. Otherwise, William's going to be up a creek without a paddle. There aren't that many people right now. And so, yeah, all of Henry's stuff has been yanked out of him. Andy is busy doing all the work that Philip used to do. Philip used to manage. He was the estate manager. He used to make sure that Sandringham, Windsor, Balmoral, all the other places were being run properly. So Andrew's managing what's going on with the day-to-day stuff. He's the estate manager of all the private homes that the family owns. That's Sandringham, Balmoral, and most of the time they're living at Windsor. He's making sure everything is run, because that's a full-time job for one person. And that's basically what Philip did. Philip ran. He had his patronages, but he was running and making sure all the big estates were profitable. So that's what Andrew's doing, okay? Besides taking care of Sarah and being a granddaddy, okay? And watching the corgis. Now, as for the gruesome twosome, we know Henry's off in Asia doing his thing. And so to cover her tracks, to keep herself in the stupid headlines, Rachel released, she was at the singer that looks like Barbie doll. Well, there's no photos. Now, people who know me well know I know certain people and certain stuff, especially things pertaining to film industry, film and television production, and the music industry. Okay, I made a call last night when I started hearing this nonsense. And I reached out to somebody who I know is a road manager. One of the crew who works on these big monster tours that go from city to city, and a lot of times they have 2 stages. While one stage is being set up let's say Taylor Swift is setting up they're setting up the stage for Los Angeles, the stage she's performing in San Francisco. So as soon as she got done with San Francisco, she goes to the built stage in Los Angeles. They're ripping apart San Francisco and moving it to the next state. So they leapfrog. They'll have a tour that size, has 2 complete stages, and they leapfrog cities. Well, it takes a whole behind-the-scenes group of people to make sure that this tour goes off properly. I mean, it takes a lot of people, and you have a production manager who makes sure that all the pieces of the puzzle are fit together. And one of the jobs of the production and the road manager is managing the guest list and the VIP list of attendees. I know someone who knows somebody who was able to talk to the person on that tour, and they said, Rachel was never on the VIP list or on any of the lists. That's what I was told. And I got it through reliable sources. Rachel was, unless she paid the big bucks spent a few $1,000s for a couple seats somewhere in the masses. That's the only way and she would have to be able to produce proof of those tickets. But from what I heard through my reliable sources, Rachel was not on a guest list, and she was not on the VIP list anywhere. Okay. So yeah, people, thank you for watching today. Remember, tomorrow, 1 p.m., Mystical Fortunes. So I'm excited I hope everyone is able to watch tomorrow, and let's have a great Friday night. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time at Mystical Fortunes. The link to her channel is down in my box. Got it? Okay, bye-bye.